Hi guys, and welcome to Needle and Threads, and today we're looking at log cabin Santas. I was given one of these last year and I thought they were really cute, but as I like to show variations, I've turned one of them into a penguin, and we're going to do both of these projects side by side because they're made exactly the same way until we put the decoration on the end. To start with then, you'll need 3 pieces of 9-inch square fabric, but the penguin I've used just plain black fabric, and for the Santa we've got this Christmassy looking fabric. One of those 9-inch squares then will need to be cut diagonally so that we've got 2 triangular pieces. If you happen to have a rotary cutter and match, you can use that for cutting your angle, but if you haven't got that facility, then we can just put our points together. Good idea to give it a press with an iron, and then you've got a nice straight line which to cut your 2 triangular pieces. So we just pop them to the side. For the face of the Santa, then we want a neutral fleshy coloured piece of fabric, and for the penguin we'll need white. I'm going to use this white sparkly one, and they need to be 3-inch squares. So that one's going to be for the belly rather than the face. So we'll need lots of strips of 1-inch wide fabric. Now I like to cut my strips in one long bit, and then I can just cut off what I need. And I've got a little bonus clip to show you what to do with all the odds and ends at the end of this project. So cut yourself some in different coloured reds or different coloured blacks for your penguin. So we're going to put them opposite sides, and we're doing 1 centimetre seams. So your first 2 pieces go on opposite side. If you've got your 1/4 inch foot, this is a good idea to put it on your machine now, so you get accurate seams. We do need to press in between each of your layers so that it lays down nice and flat. So that's the penguin one we've just put our sides on. And again we're going to put our strips either side. So now we've got our fabric, 1-inch fabric all the way round. This is the penguin one, and we're going to give it a good press and open it up. And again for the Santa face, I don't think I mentioned actually that the first log cabin strips need to be white because that's going to be his beard. Now for the second strip, we need to move on to that short bit where we put our first piece on. So working on the short sides either side, this is going to be the penguin, so we're going to put black pieces on. With our Santa, we're going to then start using our red colours. So they need to be attached either side, and again right sides together, and machine your 1 centimetre seams opposite sides. Give it a nice good press before we put on the other 2 opposite sides on, and they will be in the same colour. So for your Santa we're going to be putting our red strips on, and for our penguin we're going to be putting our black strips on. And again we'll have our 1 centimetre seam, and then I just trim off the excess and give it a press. So there we are. It's going to build up in the same way for each layer. So there we are, we've got our next layer on, and we've got our black for our penguin, we've got red for our Santa, and again our next layer. We're building up. So you can do mini ones where I finish there at 3 layers, so that just makes a smaller one, but it still fits nicely on your bottle. Or you can do the next size up, which is putting another strip on there. So either or, experiment. Once you've got all of your layers up, then we need to cut at our angles. So if you've got that rotary cutter, you can use your rotary cutter. If not, draw a line and cut through your pieces. So we've got 2 triangles now, and we're going to take that fabric that we cut in the beginning, our triangle, and we're going to take one of the log cabin triangles and pop it on there, and then we're going to take our other triangle of fabric, so we're actually going to make 2 at a time, and we take the other half of our log cabin and pop it on there. And all the way through this project we've got 1 centimetre seams, so we're just going to stitch across the top. So we're joining it on there with our 1 centimetre seam, and we're going to press it open. And that's exactly the same with our penguin. And remember, we've done black fabric for our penguin. Here he is. So now all we need is a backing fabric for our projects, and for a penguin again it's going to be that 9-inch square black piece. So we're just going to pop that, line it up nicely, and we're going to stitch all the way around with a 1 centimetre seam, leaving an opening at that side on the plain fabric. Here we are, same project with our Santa, gone all the way around, 1 centimetre seam, left a little bit of an opening where his hat's going to be, clip those points, turn it inside out and give it a nice press. So here's our Santa. If you notice at the side, here's our opening, but we don't need to close that, because the next stage then of putting it together, we're going to fold those points together and stitch down it. And if we have a look at that with the penguin, then we've got our 1/4 inch seam and just open it up, and we've got the body of our Santa and our penguin. Now it's up to the decoration, so we can put tassels, pom-poms, bells on top for his hat. For the face, I've got lots and lots of Google eyes, so I'm going to use these and make them up as presents. Little pom-pom noses, but also if you don't have any pom-poms, I find that buttons look just as decorative as a face. So you could use little shirt buttons, they're quite decorative. The black one, if you don't want to turn it into a penguin, you could turn it into a goth Santa for those that like their goth. But we're just going to maneuver that bit down. We're going to stitch it down before putting on a felt beak and some Google eyes to turn him into a penguin. So here's some of the other ones. There's the mini one where I've done just 4 down, and the bigger one that's 5, and we've turned him into a goth. And also there is our penguin and our Santa that we've just done. Or you can do a green one, you can do a gnome, or you can do a nice gold one. The bonus clip then, you should have lots of little bits of fabrics left, and I like to save these in a tin, and Christmas is great, so I'm going to use either some Bonder Web, which is a double-sided adhesive that you can iron your strips on, a little bit of glue, or lay them down and use some decorative stitches on your machine using some of those pretty threads that you can get, as I've done here. I've used a Christmas tree aperture card, but it looks just as attractive with a circular one or a square one. And if you find you've got lots of bits of fabric that are not quite big enough, chop them up, randomly put them on, and then do some decorative stitches again with your machine. If you put them into a circular card, it looks like a ball, and if you put it into the square as we have here, it looks like a little Christmas parcel, and you can just keep moving it around till you get a really interesting bit with your fabrics. So no waste there. Next time then we're going to do these fabric baubles, which when you press them open conceal a hidden gift. Take care.